Well, happy Sunday, everyone. It's time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. How's everybody doing? We got the Tigers at the White Sox today, May 7th. Second of a three-game series. Joe Sparma on the mound for Detroit. Tommy John will toe the rubber for Chicago. Sparma rather high 5.3 in real life. Tommy John an excellent 2.62. But if we go to the replay stats, each of these pitchers is last on their ball club in earned run average. Sparma, 2 starts, 1 relief appearance. He's 1-2 with a 10.41 ERA across 9 1/3 innings of work. John, with a very nice card, has made 4 starts, yet he's 1-3 with a 4.97 ERA across 25 innings of work. So I'll get you the lineups, set the teams defensively, and we'll get this one underway. For the Tigers, leading off will be Don Wirth, the third baseman, Jerry Lumpy in the 2 spot, Norm Cash bats third, Al Kaline in the cleanup spot, Willie Horton hitting 5th, Bill Freehan, the catcher, bats 6th, Mickey Stanley bats 7th, Ray Euler hitting 8th, and Sparma, the pitcher, hitting 9th. Defensively for the White Sox, catching Tommy John will be J.C. Martin. And welcome, Ben. Greetings. Glad to have you, sir. The infield, Bill Skowron at first, Don Buford at second, Ron Hansen at short, Pete Ward at third base, with the outfield left to right of Danny Cater, Tommy Agee, and Floyd Robinson. Yeah, no doubt, Ben. And his ERA on the card wasn't that great either. So Tommy's concluded his warm-ups. We're set to get this one started here as Don Wirth steps in. Having a little trouble with my eyesight today, so bear with me. Wirth comes into the game hitting .282, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. John getting the sign now from Martin, and here's the first pitch of the game. That's going to be a 5-6 right-handed. Struck him out. And we are underway. Tommy John fans Don Wirth. And here's Jerry Lumpy, the second baseman. Lumpy comes in at .266, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. Left on left now as John goes into the windup. The pitch to Lumpy is a 2-4, and he draws the walk. So a 1-out walk to Jerry Lumpy, not a threat to run. Kind of surprising for a second baseman, really, to be that slow. 1 through 9 base runner. Here's Norm Cash now. Cash batting only .222. He does have 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. His 4 home runs leads the ball club. From the stretch now, here's the pitch from John. It's going to be a 2-7, and he draws the walk. So back-to-back walks here in the first inning. Lumpy will jog down to second. And here comes Al Kaline. Kaline comes into the game leading the club in batting at .355, 3 home runs, and his 13 RBIs also leads the club. First and second, 1 down. Runners take their lead. TJ from the stretch now. The pitch to Kaline, a 110 left-handed. He pops him up. Infield fly rule is called as Hansen makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Excuse me. 2 away, and here's Willie Horton. Horton hitting .315, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs. So his 5 home runs, let's see what I mean about my eyesight today. Holy cow. 5 home runs for Horton leads the ball club. 11 RBIs would be second on the team. John trying to get out of this jam now from the stretch. The pitch to Horton is a 5-5 right-handed. It's a grounder to short X. That's going to be Hansen. Hansen, a 3E48, goes into the hole. And here's the play. It's the E rating. It's the dreaded 5 on a 48, and that is going to be an error on Hansen, and the bases are loaded. So E6, error on Chicago, and the bases are loaded with 2 down for Bill Freehand. Freehand comes in hitting just 200, 12 for 60, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. John staring in now. The sign from Martin, full windup, and the pitch to Freehand is a 3-8 left-handed comebacker. John snares it, flips to Skowron, and that will do it. And the Tigers leave the bases loaded in the first inning. As Sparma gets loose, I'll give you the White Sox lineup. Tommy Agee back in the leadoff spot. Don Buford will bat second. Floyd Robinson in the 3 spot. Pete Ward will hit cleanup today. Danny Cater gets the start in left field. He'll hit 5th. Bill Skowron batting 6th. J.C. Martin behind the plate and batting 7th. Ron Hansen, the shortstop, hits 8th, and Tommy John hits 9th. Defensively for Detroit, it will be Bill Freehand catching Sparma. Storm and Norm Cash at first, the double play combo of Lumpy and Euler with Don Word at third, and an outfield left to right of Horton, Stanley, and Kaline. And Benz for the Tigers, and welcome Jeffrey. So here's Agee to lead it off. Tommy Agee comes into the game hitting just 167. No home runs yet on the season. He does have 6 runs batted in. Sparma gets the sign from Freehand now. Here's the windup and the pitch to Agee. It's a 4-2 right-handed, a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Cash. Cash a 2E18, ranging to his right. It's the E rating. It's a 4 on an 18. This could be trouble, and he boots it. Error Cash. So an error by Detroit puts Agee aboard. Agee's got wheels. Star 17 Steeler. Let's check the battery. Sparma with a terrible +7. The catcher Freehand a -3, so that's going to be a 4. 20, held on, he's an 18. He'll have to be held on, and he's going to try for that lead. 2 through 6, 11 or 12. 6, he's got it. The pitch to Buford. There goes Agee. Freehand's throw. He's stolen it. Stolen base for Tommy Agee. And for Tommy, that's his 4th steal of the season. Here's the next pitch now to Buford. Batting left, 6-8. Single, 2 stars, and Agee will round and score. And the White Sox are on the board. Buford also with good wheels. Same situation. Held on, he's an 18. I'd have to think the White Sox are going to test the hold of Sparma all day long. Buford's going to roll for that lead. 2 through 6 or 9. 5, he's got it. The pitch to Floyd Robinson. There goes Buford. The throw, he's stolen it. So the Go-Go Sox running from the get-go. And here's the next pitch to Robinson. That'll be a 5-7 left-handed. Single, 2 stars. Here comes Buford to score. RBI for Robinson. Robinson a star 18. So he's an 18 held. He's going to try for the lead. He needs a 6. He does not establish the lead. And here's Pete Ward now. Ward comes in at 259, 2 homers, 8 RBIs. Runner on first, still nobody out. From the stretch, the pitch to Ward. 3-7 right-hander, a single on a 5 on a 14. That's a liner speared by Lumpy, and that's the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and here's Danny Cater. Cater starting in left field today against the right-hander. Let's see what he did in real life. He actually played quite a bit that year and batted .278. 7 home runs. In the replay, he hasn't played that much yet. He is just 1 for 8. Looks like he started the year on the bench and then worked his way into the starting lineup. And welcome to Mike C. Good to have you. So, runner on first, 1 away. Sparma from the stretch now. Pitch to Cater, 6'7", right-handed. Single to center field. Ward rounding. He's a 12. Stanley -1. 11. With 1 out, he will hold up. So the White Sox are all over Sparma here in the first. And here's Skowron now. Skowron hitting .238. 2 home runs, only 2 RBIs, so 2 solo shots for Moose. Sparma from the stretch now. That's going to be a 6-5. He struck him out. Skowron down on strikes. And here's J.C. Martin, the catcher. Martin comes in at 300, just 6 for 20. He's only been in 6 ball games. He does have 1 home run. Sparma staring in now. Pitch to Martin on a 5'10" left-handed. That's catcher's card X. That's going to be Freehan. Freehan, a marvelous defensive catcher, a 1E2 with a -3 arm to boot. Here's the roll on the play on a 16. Pop out to the catcher, and that will retire the side. So 2X, Martin pops out to his counterpart, and that ends the inning. 2 runs, however, for the Sox on 3 hits. Let's see here. That would have been an out. Single. Second out. So 1 of the runs is unearned. And we've completed 1 inning here in Chicago. It is 2-0 White Sox. Tommy John getting ready to go to work in the second. Mickey Stanley will lead things off for Detroit. Stanley, a fine center fielder. He comes into the ball game hitting .273, no home runs and 4 runs batted in. John into the windup. Here's the pitch on a 1-4 left-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Cater back to the track at the wall, leaps up. It's gone. Home run, Mickey Stanley. Oh my goodness. And I'm guessing that's got to be his first home run of the season. It is. Mickey Stanley with his first home run. He's a weak against right-handers, facing a lefty here. He did hit 3 that year in real life, and it's a 2-1 ball game. And here's Ray Euler, the shortstop. Euler's 0 for 7 on the season. He's only been in 3 games. McAuliffe was playing short. I assume something's wrong with McAuliffe at this point in the season because he's been absent the last several games. Yeah, not bad, Ben. It's anybody's game. So here's Euler. John into the lineup. That's going to be a 2-5 lefty. That's ripped over the bag and into left field. That's going to go to the corner. Euler will round and cruise into second with a stand-up double. So back-to-back extra base hits off of Tommy John here, and the White Sox come roaring back. Excuse me. Let's check Sparma's bunting rating. He's a C. He's also a 3 hitters card, right-handed batter, W. He's going to hit away with a runner in scoring position. The pitch from TJ is a 6-7, and he walks him. Holy cow. So John, the unforgivable sin of walking the opposing pitcher. And here comes Don Wirt now. First and second, nobody out. Wirt struck out his first time up. John gets the sign now from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Wirt. It's a 3-6 single 2-star. Rounding his Euler. He will score. Sparma will go to third. RBI single by Don Wirt, and the ball game is tied. Still nobody out as Jerry Lumpy steps to the plate. Excuse me, I gotta get my water. Oh, man. All right, there we go. First and third, nobody out. Here's Lumpy. Jerry walked his first time up today. John from the stretch, the pitch to Lumpy. 6'9", left-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that's the first out of the inning. And here comes Norm Cash, K-line on deck. TJ's in a jam here. Stares in now to get his sign from the stretch. The pitch to Norm Cash. That's going to be a 3-7. It's a base hit up the middle. Sparma can walk home. Let's see here. Open single. Wirt could advance. He's a 12, but Agee with a -3 cannon in center. He'll have to hold up. RBI for Norm Cash. Wirt stops at second. And the the Tigers take the lead 3-2. And here's K-line. K-line 0 for 1. John staring in now. He takes the K-line. A 5-8 right-handed. Ground ball to short. This could be 2. It's Hansen to Buford to Skowron. Double play. And that will retire the side. But the White Sox, why do I keep saying the White Sox? The Tigers score 3 on 4 hits and leave a pair. And they lead it 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the second. Beautiful spring day in Spokane, 73 and sunny. It's going to get cloudier and cooler over the next couple of days, but more and more warm days lately as we head into spring here. Ron Hansen will lead it off for Chicago in the bottom of the second. Hansen comes into the game hitting .273. He has no homers and just 1 run batted in. Sparma getting his sign now from Freehand. And here's the pitch to Hansen on a 1-7 fly ball into center. Playable for Stanley. He's right there to make the grab, and there's 1 down. And here's the pitcher, Tommy John. Right-handed batter, 6 with N power, surprisingly to me anyway. The pitch from Sparma on a 5-5. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Backing up is Horton on the track, and it's gone. I don't even believe this. Tommy John has just tied the game with a home run. Holy crap, let's look at that again. 5-5. He's a right-handed batter with N power. 1 through 17 just does barely clear the fence on a 16. And it's a pitcher home run. Sparma obviously disgusted with himself, and welcome to Keith. Here's AG now. Reached on an error, stole second, and came around to score his first time up. Sparma with the windup. That's going to be a 2-7. Tapper down to third. Wirt to Cash. And there's one away. Two away, actually. Two away, excuse me. Get in the game, Steve. Buford, the switch hitter, batting left-handed. Buford came into this ball game hitting just .212, 2 homers, 9 RBIs. He singled his first time up today, also stole a base. The pitch from Sparma, 1-8, a single on a 2, and on a 1, it's down for a base hit. Holy cow, a 2-out single for Buford. He'll have to be held on. 1 through 18, 2 through 6 or 9, he's going to try for that lead. 8, he does not get it. And Floyd Robinson at the plate. Buford taking a little shorter lead now. As Sparma comes set and from the stretch delivers to the plate on a 4-8 left-handed. Triple to 4. On a 10, that's going to be a single 2 stars. Buford rounds and scoots into third. And the White Sox have runners at the corners with 2 down. And here's Pete Ward now. Ward lined to second his first time up. Tie ball game, just getting started here. Pour yourself a cup or pop a beer. Spend an hour or so with me today. Very pleasant Sunday afternoon. Sunday is always a great day for Strat. Ward up now, the left-handed batter. Sparma from the stretch. The pitch to Pete Ward is a 6-5, swung on and missed, strike 3, and the side is retired. The White Sox, however, tie it up on a Tommy John home run of all things. And it's 3-3 after 2 innings here in Chicago. Sparma had a home run problem on the card, no doubt about that. What's really shocking to me is that John's an N. I do not remember Tommy John being anywhere close to a good hitting pitcher. But apparently he was in '66. Uh-oh, it's an earthquake. Bear with me, I bumped the camera tripod with my head. Yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer there, Ben, don't you think? He'd have been better off to walk him. To the third we go. Willie Horton will lead it off. 5 in his career, how about that? And 2 of them this season. I'll be darned. Well, that's how he got the N. Willie Horton standing at the plate, 0 for 1, reached on an error. Tommy gets the side. Here's the pitch to Horton. That's going to be a 1-7 left-handed. Tapper to shortstop. Ron Hansen has it over to Skowron, 1 away. Tigers came into the game at 500, 10-10. White Sox 7-10. And here's Bill Freehan now. Freehan, right-handed batter. John into the windup. That's going to be a 2-6 left-handed, and he pops him up behind the bag at second. Buford has it. 2 down. And here's Mickey Stanley. Excuse me. Mickey homered his first time up. John gets the sign into the windup now. Here's the pitch to Stanley on a 1-9 liner. Spared by Buford. And that will do it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy John. First 1-2-3 inning of the ball game so far for either side. And it's still 3-3 as we move to the bottom of the third. And it'll be Danny Cater leading it off for Chicago. Sparma ready to work now as he gets the sign from Freehand. Cater 1 for 1 today. Here's the tip. 4-7 right-handed, and he walks him. Lead-off walk to Cater, not a threat to run. And here's Moose Skowron now. Skowron struck out his first time against Sparma today. Sparma now working out of the stretch. Pitch to Skowron, a 2-7 right hand. Pops him up left side. Euler calling for it. And that's the first out of the inning. And here's J.C. Martin. Martin 0 for 1. Left-handed batter. Sparma from the stretch. 2-3 right-handed. Grounder down to third base. Wirt fields it cleanly. Too lumpy to cash, not in time. That'll go as a force, 5-4. Cater erased, and Martin's at first with 2 down. And that'll bring up Ron Hansen, the shortstop. Hansen 0 for 1. Sparma staring in from the stretch. Pitch to Ron Hansen on a 1-8. Another ground ball to third. Wirt has it. Throws across in time, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, a man left. And we're through 3 innings in a 3-3 tie. Hope everyone's having a nice Sunday. And I want to thank you for hanging out with me for a little while. Very quiet Sunday here, almost spooky quiet in my apartment complex. Well, on such a nice day, everybody's probably out. So here's Ray Euler to lead it off for Detroit in the top of the 4th. Tommy gets the sign from Martin now. Here's the windup and the pitch to Euler. It's going to be a 4-10 right-handed. Catcher's card X, that'll be Martin. He's a 2-E7. And here's the roll on the play. On a 1, foul out to the catcher. Martin makes the play. 1 away, and here's Sparma. Sparma walked his first time up. TJ gets the sign. So on a 1-7, he grounds it to second base. Buford fields it. Flips to Skowron, 2 down. And here's Don Wirt now, 1 for 2. TJ gets his sign. The windup. Pitch to Wirt is a 6-9 right-handed. It's swung on and missed, strike 3. And suddenly Tommy John has retired the last 7 batters in order. Nothing across in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and it's still a 3-3 ball game. Ben's done a couple games in the NBL this weekend. We'll be doing one more in a little bit. KC at St. Louis. Then each team will have 2 games in the book. Oh, wow, you're coming along very nicely, Ben. Now remind me, how many teams are in the league again? 8? I'm just guessing here. For some reason that comes to mind. And Keith says, I wonder how the White Sox stayed in the race in 67. They had great pitching, but very little offense. And that's true. I try to keep that in mind with them too. That's why they attempt to steal when they can. To the bottom of the 4th we go. Tommy John, he of the home run in the 2nd, will lead things off, batting right-handed. The pitch from Sparma. It's a 4-8 to the righty. It's a base hit into left field, and Tommy John's 2 for 2. Holy cow. And that'll bring up AG. AG's 0 for 2. Sparma. I'll look over at John. John, a very modest lead off of first. And here's the pitch to AG. It's going to be a 3-10 right-handed. Single to 15 on an 18. That's stopped by Buford. He flips to Hansen to first, not in time. That'll go as a force. So a 4-6 force. And AG's aboard. AG will have to be held on. You can guess where this is headed. AG going to try for that lead. He'd be an 18 if he could get it. On a 3, he's got it. The pitch to Buford. There goes AG, 1 to 18, and barely in there on an 18. He's stolen his second base of the game. The next pitch to Buford. 5-10 to the left-hander is catcher's card X. That's going to be freehand. A 1-E2, and here's the roll on the play now. It's going to be a 7, pop out to the catcher. Runner cannot advance. 2X, runner holds. That's 2 away. And it will be up to Floyd Robinson. Floyd's 2 for 2 in the ballgame. Pete Ward on deck. Sparma staring in now. Here's the windup and the pitch to Pete Ward. It's a 4-10 left-handed. Fly ball to center and shallow. In comes Stanley. Still coming. He's there to make the catch to retire the side. No runs to hit, 1 left on. And we are through 4 innings here in a 3-3 tie. Good game so far. Both pitchers allowed runs early and have settled down the last couple of innings. Tommy John's taking his warm-ups, and here's Jerry Lumpy to lead off the top of the 5th. Lumpy 0 for 1 with a walk. Left on left now. The windup and the pitch, a 5-9. Fly ball into left field. That's playable for Cater. He's got it. 1 down. Here's Norm Cash now. Cash 1 for 1 with a walk. Drove in a run with a single in the 2nd inning. John gets the sign. Here's the windup. The pitch to Cash. 3-11 left-handed. That's a base hit into right field for Norm Cash. Cash has been on base all 3 times now. And that will bring up K-Line. K-Line's grounded to short twice. Actually, he popped to short and then grounded into a double play to short. John working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Al K-Line. That's going to be a 1-5 lefty, and he walks him. So the Tigers have something going in the 5th, 1st and 2nd, 1 away. And here's Willie Horton, the club leader in home runs with 5. Horton 0 for 2 today. John staring in to get the sign, now working from the stretch. The pitch to Horton is a 4-8 right-handed, a single to 7 on a 17, a soft liner speared by Hansen. So a line out to short, 2 away, and here's Freehan. Bill Freehan, 0 for 2. John gets the sign now. Here's the pitch to Freehan, a 6-3, base hit into center. That's going to be an open single. Cash can try to come in on that. AG has a gun. Cash at 12, 2 outs, 14. AG a -3, 11. He's coming. Here's AG's throw to 11, and he's out. Oh, what a throw by AG to nail Cash at the plate. Tigers tried to take the lead. They sent cash. And a perfect one-hopper by Tommy Agee, and Martin was waiting for him. So no runs, 2 hits, a man left on. Now we got to rake the plate, huh, Ben? And hey, Kenyon, how you doing? And there's Bears Den. Welcome, Bears Den. Welcome, Kenyon Gray. The grounds crew runs a rake over the home plate area. And Sparma's ready to work in the bottom of the 5th. So it'll be Ward, Cater, and Skowron for Chicago. Pete Ward's 0 for 2. Did you really, Kenyon? That's funny. I didn't know there was a Toomey John Corporation. And yeah, good point, Ben. But with a 55% shot and 2 outs, you got to send him. Sparma ready. Here's the pitch to Ward. 6-7 left-hander. The base hit up the middle. It's a leadoff single for Ward. Ward 15-4-19. They'll have to hold him, making him a 17. He'll need a 6, but he's going to try for it. He does not get the lead. And here's Cater. Cater, 1 for 1 with a walk. Oh, wow. So is it Tommy John or Toomey John? I never heard of that, Kenyon. The underwear people. Ward on first, takes his lead, now from the stretch. Pitch to Cater on a 6-3. It's a base hit into center field. Stanley a -1. Ward a 12 will hold at second. He'd be an 11 to go to third. And now there's action in the Detroit pen. Dave Wickersham getting loose down there. Okay, Ben, I've got the answer to that, because if I happen to roll 1 while he's trying for a lead, a 1 on the 20D, you have to roll for the pickoff. Well, I don't use the Bach wild pitch. I do use the 1 for the pickoff. And the reason I incorporated that is to discourage these guys for, let me find one here. And of course, when I want one, I'll never find one, right? Let's see if I can find one. Here you go. It's to discourage guys like this from even trying for the lead. Okay, because with a 3, he'd have a 2 in, you're rolling 2 dice, 2 in 16 chance to get the lead. But he'd also have a 1 in 16 chance of rolling for the pickoff. So he's not going to try it. You have to have some deterrent there, so I'm not rolling the dice for those 2 and 3/20 guys all the time. First and second, nobody out. Sparma in trouble. In fact, Freehand out to the mound now. Probably buying some time for Wickersham. Okay, they're ready to go now. And here's Cater. Rather, here's Skowron, 0 for 2. Cater on first. From the stretch now, a 4-6 right-handed, a single to 4 and a 14. It's going to be a liner speared by Don Wirt. And that's the first out of the inning. Throw back to first, not in time. Cater back into the bag, and here's Martin. Martin 0 for 2 today. Sparma gets the sign now. The pitch to Martin, 1-6 right-handed. It's going to be a ground ball to second. Lumpy shovels to Euler to cash, double play. So a 4-6-3 retires the side. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Sorry, no runs, 2 hits, 1 left. 1 erased on the double play. And we're through 5 innings in a 3-3 tie. Hey, I get mixed up too because I'm basically, for those that don't know, I'm basically advanced version with super advanced stealing and a amalgam of super advanced and advanced ground ball result advancement chart. Three to 3 game as we go to the 6th. Mickey Stanley to lead off for the Tigers. Mickey's 1 for 2 with a home run, his first home run of the season back in the 2nd inning. Tommy into the windup. Pitch to Stanley is a 4-7 right-handed. That's up the middle and through for a base hit, and Stanley's 2 for 3. Stanley, a pretty good base runner. Let's check the battery. John's a +1. Martin a 0. He'd be a 14 if he could get it. And he's not held on, so he's going to try for it. He needs to roll a 7. 6, he does not get the lead. And here's the next pitch to Ray Euler. 112. Comebacker, John, down to Buford to Skowron, double play. So a 1-4-3 erases the runner. And with 2 outs, it's Sparma. Should I hit for Sparma here? I'm on the fence on this one, I can tell you that. They've gotten 5 innings out of him, and he's only an S5 for endurance. That's why that comes to mind. If he was a 6 or a 7, I definitely wouldn't. And Ben, the Tiger fan, says no. Oh yeah, Ben, he's an S5. And he's pitched 5 innings. That's why I'm thinking about it. Kenyon John is not a Hall of Famer. I think he should be. There's 2 outs and nobody on. I'm going to let him stay in. Here's the pitch on a 3-5. Grounder down to third. Ward to Skowron, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, nobody left. There was an interesting article about Jim Cott, Tommy John, and El Tiante. Okay, looking at their numbers, and I remind you, they all pitched at about the same period of time. And Cott's in, but John and Tiant are not. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I would say Tiant was the best pitcher of the 3 personally, but they're all pretty close. So 1's in and 2 aren't. They're in that gray area. Some things about the Hall just don't make any sense to me. Ron Hansen will lead it off for the White Sox as we move to the bottom of the 6th. Sparma stirring in the windup. It's the pitch, 4-4 right-handed, ground ball to third base X. That's going to be Ward, a fine third baseman, a 2E13. And here's the play. On a 20, he's got it. Throws him out. Nice play, Don Wirt. So 5-3X. Hansen retired, and here comes Tommy John. You think pinch hit for him in the 6th? Hell, why would you? He's 2 for 2 with a home run. Right-handed batter. The pitch from Sparma, 111, a ground ball down to third. It's going to be Wirt again. Nice play to throw John out, and there's 2 down. Top of the order, and Tommy Agee. Tommy 0 for 3 today. Sparma gets the sign, the lineup, and the pitch. 2-4 right-handed comebacker. Sparma has it. Throws to Cash, and that'll do it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Sparma. Rewarding his faith in the manager's faith in him for not pinch hitting for him in the top of the inning. He comes out and delivers a 1-2-3 inning. Well, there's I don't know, Kenyon. There's the obvious all-time greats. And then there's the greats. I'm on the side of I believe the Hall is too exclusive. Most people, it sounds like you're one of them, think it's too inclusive. But I think it's too exclusive. What do you do with somebody like Andrew McCutchen, for example? Okay, he obviously is not going to have the career numbers. But for 4 or 5 years, this guy was clearly the best player in the National League. Shouldn't that count for something? I would say if you're the best player in your league for a 5-year period, you're a Hall of Famer. Well, it is. Yes, Ben. In fact, the line between the top minor league players and the guys at the bottom of the big leagues is a very thin line. Anybody remember Bill James' talent distribution bell curve? I would say a definite yes for Mattingly. For about 4 to 6 years, he was the best player in the American League. Or put it another way, when you watch the guy play, did he seem like a Hall of Famer? Watching Mattingly in his peak, he certainly looked like a Hall of Famer. The same for McCutchen. But they tend to go by who can pile up the most lifetime numbers, which that's okay too, I guess. But that isn't always the only measurement that should be considered, I don't think. Just cleaning my glasses here. Bear with me. The Hall of Fame debate, always an interesting one. I think a lot of those guys from the dead ball era, if you were to vote again, they wouldn't be in. Yeah, on a percentage basis, it's not many, Ben. You're absolutely right. Still trying to get my vision focused. Okay, that's a little better. To the 7th we go in a 3-3 tie, top of the order for Detroit. Tommy John entering his first inning of potential fatigue. He's an S7. Don Wirt is 1 for 3 today, singled and struck out twice. John gets his sign. Here's the windup and the pitch to Wirt. That's going to be a 5-10 right-handed, a grounder to shortstop X. That'll be Hansen. Hansen a 348 as he goes into the hole. There's the roll on the play on a 13. He's got it. Long throw in time. And Wirt is retired. So 6-3X. And here's Lumpy. Lumpy 0 for 2 with a walk. Left on left is John Deal. 6-8, grounder to second base. Routine for Buford. 2 Scourin, and there's 2 out quickly in the 7th. And that'll bring up Stormin' Norm Cash. 2 for 2 with a walk today. John into the windup. Pitch to Cash. 1-6. Struck him out. Cash down on strikes. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the 7th. And it's still 3-3 as we stretch. Hey, I have another convert there, Ben. That's kind of my thinking, exactly. Compare that to the other sports Hall of Fames. And it almost seems a bit ridiculous. Or sports halls of fame, I guess would be the correct way to say it. Sparma into his 3rd endurance inning now. Wickersham's ready. Let's see if they have a lefty down there. They do not. Wow. Tigers do not have a lefty in the pen. So Pena's going to join Wickersham. 2 right-handers. Here's Buford to lead off the bottom of the inning. Buford 2 for 3 today, batting left-handed. The windup. The pitch is 6-9. Grounder to short X. That's going to be Euler. Euler at 2E28. Ray Euler into the hole. Here's the play on an 18. He's got it. Long throw across in time. Nice play, Euler, to nip the speedy Buford. Absolutely. Yes, kid. It's one of the greatest debates in the sport, I think. They do a good job on the MLB network of that, too. They get into that just about every year, I think. Around ballot time. They had one writer on who had a vote and one year and questioned him or interviewed him. And he revealed his choices, which a lot of writers won't do. They like to keep it hush-hush. But he told everybody what his ballot was and his reasoning. It was very interesting. Floyd Robinson steps in now, 2 for 3. Sparma, the find from Freehand. Pitch to Floyd, 5-5 left-handed. That's going to be a high fly ball to deep right field, backing up his K-line at the track, at the wall, leaps up, and it's gone. Barely on a 9, Floyd Robinson hits one out of here, and it's 4-3 Chicago. For Floyd, his 4th home run of the season. Let's take another look at it. 5-5 lefty, 1-9. He does have the power against righties. And on a 9, the fence scraper just barely leaves the yard. And here comes Dressen, and that's going to be it for Sparma. So Dressen went as long as he could with Sparma. And here comes Wickersham now. Quick hook for Sparma in the 7th, largely because he's an S5. He worked 6 1/3. Surrendered 10 hits, 4 runs. Oh, 1 unearned. Beg your pardon. 4 runs, 3 earned. He walked just 1 and struck out 2, just the 2. So Sparma's day is done. Wickersham coming on now. Wickersham, a righty. What's Wickersham done in the replay so far? Wickersham's been in 5 games, 2 of them starts. He's 0-1 with a very high 9.95 ERA. 13 innings, 18 hits allowed. He'll be brought on to face Ward with 1 down and nobody on. Well, that's a good question, Ben. I'm sure each of them have their own criteria, and I would imagine it varies a good deal from writer to writer. I'd like to see their ballots. I mean, I'm not saying we should force them to make them public, but hell yeah, I'd like to see it. I'll tell you what I would like to see. I'd like to see a camera attached to the umpire's hat or some part of his body, the top of the chest protector maybe. So you could see the pitch coming in the way the batter sees it. Someone said attach it to the catcher once, but see, that wouldn't work because they move around too much. The umpire's fairly stationary at least, so it possibly might work. Here's Pete Ward, 1 for 3. Wickersham's ready to go now. Here's the windup of the pitch to Ward. It's going to be a 3-8. A tapper down to first. Cash will take it to the bag. And that's the second out of the inning. And here's Cater now. Cater has not been retired today. Singled twice and walked. And here's the 1-11. It's going to be another tapper down to first. It's Cash again. Race to the bag, and Cash gets there first, and that's the inning. 1 run for the Sox on the Robinson homer. And after 7 complete, it's 4-3 Chicago. You know, Kenyon, that makes good sense to me. I would think in many ways the Veterans Committee would have more expertise than a lot of the writers. We go to the 8th inning, the Sox clinging to a 4-3 lead. Let's check them defensively now. Might be a good time to get Buford out of there. And they will. So Buford coming out of the game. He's going to be replaced by Al Weiss at second base. Weiss a 2E12. Remember, one of the Achilles heels of this White Sox team is that middle infield defense. Hanson will stay in for now because he's going to bat third in the bottom of the inning. That, and I don't think they have another middle infielder who's any good, do they? They could put Elia at short. But that's only a very minuscule improvement over Hanson, not even really worth doing. To the 8th we go. Al Kaline's going to lead things off for the Tigers. And there's Perry. Welcome to Perry. Kaline 0 for 2 with a walk today. John from the stretch. John into the windup now, rather, and it's a 5-6 right-handed. Struck him out. John's second endurance inning, and with 1 out, here's Horton. Willie Horton's 0 for 3 today. As mentioned previously, he leads the ball club in home runs with 5. John into the windup. The pitch to Horton, a 6-7, and he walks him, ball 4. And now in the 8th inning, there's activity in the White Sox pen. Eddie Fisher getting loose. Joined by the lefty Juan Pizarro. So Horton on first, 1 away. And here's Bill Freehan. Freehan 1 for 3. John gets the sign from Martin now. Here's the stretch. Here's the pitch on a 6-9. Swung on and missed, strike 3. John's second K of the inning. And with 2 away, it'll be up to Stanley. Stanley 2 for 3 today. Homered in the second. Right-handed batter. John checks his runner now from the stretch deal. 3-10 left-handed, fly to right field, playable for Robinson. He's there to make the catch to retire the side. So no runs, no hits, 1 man left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 4-3, White Sox. That's another one. I agree with both of you guys on that. Hell, they should have gone in together, don't you think? I mean, off the top of my head, and I could be wrong about this, I think that's probably the best double play combo that I ever saw. Well, Morgan Concepcion maybe, but it's close. I know I'm leaving one out. Come on, guys. Get in there. Great double play combos of the modern era. Again, I mean in our lifetime. So, you know, mid-60s on. Or include the 60s for that matter. 60s on, let's say. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Wickersham coming back out there. It'll be Skowron, Martin, and Hansen for the Chi Sox. Moose is 0 for 3. That's going to be a 4-5 right-handed. Grounder down to third. Wirt throws him out, 1 down. And here's J.C. Martin, the catcher. J.C. 0 for 3 today, batting left-handed. Wickersham into the windup. That's going to be a 3-5 righty on a triple to 4. Roll is a 6. That's going to settle for a long single for Martin. So J.C. Martin with a 1-out single. And here's Ron Hansen, the shortstop. Wickersham working out of the stretch now. 2-7 right-hander. A grounder to shortstop. That's Euler. 2 lumpy to Cash, not in time. That'll go as a force. So Hansen to first. And this is a tough choice now. Tough decision here. What to do with Tommy John. I got to let him go for it. Both good ones. Especially with the leather. Neither of those in the offensive category of Morgan Concepcion or Whitaker Trammell. John's going to bat. He's 2 for 3 with a home run. Wickersham, the pitch. 5-6 right-handed. It's a triple to 2, single 2 stars. Martin rounding, and he's going to head into third with Tommy John collecting his 3rd hit of the ball game. I'll tell you what, if Tommy John can finish off the ninth, he's got the player of the game in the bag. And here's Agee now. Tommy Agee 0 for 4 today. Yet he's stolen 2 bases. Reached on an error and stole, hit into a force play and stole. Wickersham checks his runners. Now from the stretch. 5-6 right-handed. That's a triple to 2, single 2 stars. Martin can practically walk home. John rounds and heads into third. And a big insurance run for the White Sox. And that'll bring up Weiss. Thought about pulling Wickersham until I saw Weiss's card. Weiss batting left-handed, not much of a hitter, came in defensively for Buford. Weiss on the season, 4 for 20. Does not have a run batted in. Pitch from Wickersham, a 1-9, struck him out, and that'll do it. But a big insurance run for Chicago on 3 hits. They leave a pair. And they take a 5-3 lead into the top of the inning. Ken Berry will come out and take over in left field for Cater. 1E3 plus 1. And Tommy John going for the complete. It feels to me like we haven't had a complete game in a while. We've had a couple of close ones where the pitcher ended up tiring in the ninth. Longest running DP combo ever, right, man? Ray Euler to lead it off, and that's interesting. We may have to send up a hitter for him. Jake Wood has grabbed a bat. He played in this game in real life. And he's going to bat for Euler here in the ninth. Berry was a marvelous outfielder. There were some great center fielders in this period of time. I know Berry's in left here, but I consider him a center fielder. Let's look up Wood's stats. Wood 2 for 6, all as a pinch hitter. Right-handed batter. Tommy John gets the sign from Martin now. The pitch to Wood, a 4-3 right-handed. It's a fly ball to right field X. That's Robinson, a 2E12. Robinson ranging to the gap. And here's the play on an 18. He makes the catch, 1 down. And now we'll have a batter for Wickersham. And let's see what we've got. Looking for a righty. Pretty easy choice here. It's going to be Don Demeter. So Don Demeter grabs a bat. He'll come off the bench and bat for Wickersham with 1 out in the 9th. Get out of here, Perry. That is way cool. Ben, I'm not sure about that one. I suppose you can make the argument that teams would lock up their best players long term. And also, when there's that much money involved, you might have a player take a little bit less to stay somewhere where he's happy. I mean, what's the difference between $32 million a year and $33 million a year? It's certainly not a life-changing difference at that level. I think they probably have insurance on these guys for the injuries, don't you? Here's Demeter, 1 away. Tigers trail by 2. John into the right. Pitch to Demeter. It's going to be a 1-6 single to 8 on an 8. That's down for a base hit. So Demeter comes through off the bench. And here's Wirt. Tying run at the plate. Don Wirt is 1 for 4 today. Fisher's ready. John trying to complete it. Yeah, that's true too. I could get into the economic side of that, but that's a story for another day, and we're in the 9th inning. Here's Wirt, man on first, takes his lead. John working out of the stretch. Pitch to Don Wirt is a 4-12 right-handed. It's a grounder to third. That's going to do it. Ward to Weiss to Skowron, double play. No runs, a hit. Nobody left, and that's the ball game. And Tommy John goes all the way. 5-3 the final. TJ picks up the win. He's 2-3. Sparma tagged with the loss. He drops to 1-3. John surrendered 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits, 4 of them in the second inning. He walked quite a few for John, 4, 5. And he struck out 2, 3, 4, 6. Wickersham in his inning in 2/3 gave up 3 hits and a run. No walks, 1 K. So your totals on the ball game for the White Sox: 5 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. The Tigers 3 runs on 8 hits, also 1 error. Chief Spokane Gary, player of the game. Well, it's got to be Tommy John. Complete game, and he had 3 hits, including a home run. Thanks, everybody, for joining me on a spring-like Sunday afternoon. Hit that like button for me on the way out. Let's take a look at the schedule and see what we've got on tap for tomorrow. It's going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers at the Cincinnati Reds. That will be Don Drysdale opposed by Sammy Ellis. So until tomorrow, Spokane Steve wishing you all a very pleasant good evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Bye for now.